So James, thank you so much for calling up. A lot of viewers, I think, are probably going to recognise you anyway because you are Pilot and I on TikTok and Instagram. Are you in any other platforms or just those two?
Mostly TikTok and Instagram, but yeah, so do lots of flying around Northern Ireland, around the skies anyway, yes, so some people might recognise me.
And how did you get into that?
I've been into flying all my life, like literally since I was 4 or 5 years old, playing flight simulator, on the computer. I started learning to fly when I was 14, so you can start to learn when you're 14. You can get your license when you're 17. I got my license when I was 18, so I've been flying now for nearly 15 years.
Wow, no, that is absolutely amazing. Obviously, just for viewers watching this, obviously you're a homeowner now, you have a family, and possibly you might be getting interested in gardening at some point.
Yeah, so like gardening's always been something I've, grown to like. When I was younger, it wasn't something that really interested me in.
Yeah.
I got National Trust membership, and now we're starting to use that a lot more and going out to places and seeing the gardens, starting to enjoy it more. Bought a house, got family. Right now my garden is just grass, perfect, immaculately kept grass.
Yeah.
But eventually you need to jazz that up a bit and
of course
get something looking like this maybe.
No,
definitely not going to look anything like your garden.
No,
it's not going to look like this.
It's probably going to look more tidy actually than mine. Something you're quite passionate about and you talk about as well on your socials is colour blindness. And I suppose it's something I've always been aware about, but in a garden setting, how would you say that relates for somebody with colour blindness coming into a garden, how they see it maybe versus how somebody without colour blindness would see it?
So colour blindness is so common. It's really common. I don't think people realise how common being colourblind is. Okay. 1 in 12 guys, 1 in 12 males are red-green colourblind, whereas 1 in 200 females are red-green colourblind. So for every 12 people you walk down the street, the chances are they're going to be colourblind, and it really affects how you perceive and interact with the world. Day to day, it doesn't affect your life. It's only when you go to somewhere like a garden like this, or somewhere where there is a lot of colours and there are a lot of contrasts, and it can be hard to sort of know that. The colours just merge together, so people who are colourblind can see as little as 10% of colours.
Okay.
And if you think how many different colours there are in this garden today, I might be able to only see 10% of those. And for someone who's not colourblind, that can probably be really hard to understand or even picture. Like, what does that even look like?
See, no, because it's so interesting. Like I probably spend a great part of my garden life planning these borders only for colour, and in my head I'm thinking about how the colours go together. And like earlier we had a walk around before recording and I had shown you the lichness, and you had looked at them without your glasses and with your glasses, and you were able to tell me like the intensity of the pink, like how much more vibrant it is.
So yeah, colour blindness is very common, but there's no biological way of actually fixing that. It's a genetic thing, so you can't actually just go and not be colourblind. However, one thing I would do, so I actually have these glasses. So these are Enchroma colourblind sunglasses. So these are the world leading colourblind sunglasses. So whilst they don't correct it doesn't make you not colourblind. It can't be used for medical tests. These glasses allow you to see colour in a way which someone who's not colourblind should see colour. So whilst it doesn't give you an exact representation, it gives you a better idea and a better depth of colour. So what they actually do is they increase the red and the green contrasts of the colours, which allow you to see more colours essentially. And it really just makes things stand out. Like, I can see that this plant here is green because there is no contrast. It is just green. Whereas if I was to put this green on another colour, and if I look in the distance and there's grass, but there's maybe a bit of red in the grass or a plant or a flower, I wouldn't see that maybe at all. It's only when you get lots of colours in one place where it gets a bit trickier. So, when you're planting a garden, as you say, you're trying to put as much colour in as possible. Yeah. Whereas actually for someone who's colourblind, it's all about the contrast of those colours. So like there's some blue plants over there with a green background, and there's not many other colours around, so it's very obvious. They don't. Whereas if there's maybe reds or greens, particularly reds, it could be quite hard to see. So those are, for someone who's colorblind, those are not contrasting colors. And that's probably something, gardeners would want to bear in mind, I would say, and that's what, it's making spaces accessible.
Yeah.
And Enchroma actually work with a lot of gardens where they actually give out the glasses on entry now, so you can actually borrow a pair of glasses to try on as you walk around the garden.
Which is amazing. And I mean, it's only because like we've been working together the last couple of months that we've had these conversations, and I never thought about it myself. Obviously, like I do tours here, and you had mentioned to me, possibly about giving glasses out. It's not even something I ever thought to ask people prior to coming. But even earlier, you had mentioned to me you would nearly prefer a space that was more functional over maybe aesthetically, how I would see it, just because it's maybe more practical.
At the moment, the gardens I sort of like are those more practical gardens, or those ones that, I don't know, just look nice, or maybe, as you say, more aesthetically pleasing, just in terms of lines and design, as opposed to actually what the plants are.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's not the plants that stand out, it's the design of the garden that probably I would be most impressed with, and that's certainly what probably impresses me most about this garden, is just the overall design as opposed to the individual plants and the flowers. But then when I wear these glasses, it's a whole different experience, and that's where it's completely different. Suddenly, like if I look behind us, I can see that there is some color there, but it's not like in your face that there's some really nice colors coming through there. But when you put the glasses on, you can really see you can now see the contrast of like the oranges and the greens, and there's some reds. It's almost like sunset for you.
Okay.
If you imagine like a really nice sunset, there's loads of different colors, and you can see the oranges and the pinks of the sun and the clouds, and it's just beautiful. That's what wearing these glasses is like all the time.
Okay.
If you know what I mean, it brings out all those colors. Like if I look to the sky now without the glasses, it's just the clouds are just white and some grey. Whereas when I put them on, as there's maybe some pinks and some reds bouncing off the sun, or if the sun is setting, there'll be different colors in the sky, and I see that a lot more. Even just the reds, stuff just stands out that I didn't even notice before. Like the first bit of color to me was those blues in the distance. But actually, there's a lot of colour right here, that I maybe didn't even notice.
Would you say for somebody that could be colourblind just to go online and do a free test, just to...
Absolutely. Like lots of people don't even realise they're colourblind. So just go on the Enchroma website or just search colourblind test online, and it's just free. You answer a few, the Ishihara tests, see the dots. There's numbers, those circles of all the little dots, and there's a number in it.
Yeah.
That's testing for colourblindness.
Oh, okay.
That is a colourblind test essentially. Whilst you might be able to see them, I see nothing. I just see a load of dots. In day-to-day life, just colourblindness doesn't really affect you.
Yeah.
You can get away with not knowing. It's only really when people realise it's maybe because they want to go into a particular job that requires them to not be colourblind. So, for example, if you want to be like an engineer in a particular area, like working on train lines maybe, or an engineer working with aircraft, or a pilot, or a train driver, you can't do those jobs if you're colourblind. And that's one of the reasons why that is because of like lights, on aircraft, or even like traffic lights, and yes, I can see the red and the amber and the green, because that's always the first thing people say when you find out you're colourblind is, well, can you see this? What colour is this? Or what colour is this? And it doesn't work like that.
No,
it doesn't quite work like that. And I can see that that's a red light, and that's a green light, and that's an amber light, but it doesn't stand out.
It's not intense.
It's not intense. Whereas from a distance, a red light, like if there was a red light a couple hundred meters away, I could probably see it's red, but it wouldn't be like in your face red, where when you put the glasses on, you can see how clear it really is.
James, thank you so much for coming up. It was great to see you as always, even though I see you in the office most days. But for anybody that maybe wants to follow you or wants to progress with your journey, where can they find you and what platforms?
Yeah, so mostly Instagram and TikTok, pilot.ni, or just pilot.ni, and you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram.
Perfect, that's brilliant. I will tag it below.
Perfect, thank you very
James,
much. Well,